California is making it illegal to defend yourself. Can California even do that? How vulnerable is this going to leave you, your family, and your loved ones? If you can't defend yourself, what will happen to you? Let's take a closer look. So what exactly is happening? Well, an assembly bill in California has been introduced. It's AB 1333. It was introduced by an assemblyman out of L.A. I believe his last name is pronounced Zbur, Z-B-U-R. And if you take a look at some of the, basically what it says is California, I've long said this, California has actually had some really good self-defense laws. Castle Doctrine, Stand Your Ground, that's been a part of California penal code for a long time. And the anti-gunners went after guns. They didn't go after these laws. Well, now they're coming for these laws. And they basically, the author said that, because of what's happening with the Bruin case, because the Supreme Court came out and said, yeah, this is an individual right, that he wants to make sure that people don't just start shooting people. And, basically he's taking your right to self-defense away in one bill. And I want to bring up his tweet on the subject. Can we show that? Where he says, and it's pretty telling, AB 1333 was never intended to limit a crime victim's right to defend yourself, your family, or your home. That's a lie. It's exactly what it does. The goal is to prevent wannabe vigilantes like Kyle Rittenhouse from provoking violence and claiming self-defense after the fact. We will amend the bill to make this crystal clear. Let's start with that last sentence. They're probably going to amend the bill, and they're probably going to put language in there to try to make it crystal clear, but it's not going to actually change the functionality of the bill. The bill is still going to basically, you're going to have to, if your life is in danger, you're going to have to quickly process and make sure, well, is there a way for me to escape? Can I get out of here right now? And then, it's basically getting rid of your ability to defend yourself. The goal is to prevent wannabe vigilantes like Kyle Rittenhouse from provoking violence and claiming self-defense. What's kind of off about that statement?
Well, it's interesting because a jury found that Kyle Rittenhouse did, in fact, act in self-defense. So,
that's right.
Strange.
And we already have laws in the books that if you're the instigator, you're the escalator. It's already not justified. How is this?
That's exactly right, too. This tweet is a complete and total lie. Mm-hmm. First off, Rittenhouse was fleeing. He was actually trying to get away in every situation, and was found that he was absolutely well within the laws of self-defense. He did not provoke. He was trying to get away, and everything he did was absolutely self-defense, and a court of law says exactly that. So that's what he says. That's where it's coming from. Now I want to show the Everytown tweet. Everytown, if you're not familiar, is an anti-gun group. They do not like your Second Amendment rights. Everytown says that California needs to make it harder to claim self-defense now that the Bruin decision caused more people to get carry permits. And then they have a little graphic up there. We will end gun violence in America. California moms demand action, students demand action, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
It's interesting that they're putting self-defense and the concept of carry permits as a negative. If you read the screenshot, it says gun violence. What about self-defense is gun violence?
Yeah, well, I completely agree. I mean, they're absolutely making sure that the person trying to kill you is protected, and that you are far less protected.
This is right up there with that bill that decriminalized theft up to a certain dollar amount.
Yeah, exactly right. But I just can't believe, the Supreme Court reaffirming the fact that you have a natural right to self-defense, and that's why you can own a self-defense tool. That's somehow bad, and that people need to be protected. In this situation, criminals need to be protected from folks that are just trying to defend themselves, especially after that quote. I think that the gun quote of the week that we did, where 205,000 times each year a gun is used to defend against sexual assault. 46.3% of the defensive gun uses every year are a woman. And so this guy is with AB 1333 is making it harder for women. That's who this is going to affect the most, according to statistics. He's going to make it harder for them to defend themselves.
I'm reading through the verbiage of what they're proposing to change.
Yep.
And they're essentially turning us into a duty to retreat state.
That's exactly
It's
what
a
it
duty
is.
to retreat.
Yeah,
so
it says you have to exhaust every reasonable
Correct.
means to escape danger. It's like, well, that's potentially a very challenging thing to do in the heat of the moment when you are in fear of your life.
Well, just what you'd want to do, Dakota, is just right when the attack is happening and you're in fear for your life, you just want to call time out real quick. Just time out. Yeah, pause. Hold on. Let me see,
Yeah.
Is there a window open or around that I could break quickly before you shoot me in the back with the gun you're pointing at me? Crazy.
Right. But the reality is, I mean, all this is doing is opening up, this is just making for bad law.
Mm-hmm.
If someone can escape, I mean, we've all been through tons of classes.
Mm-hmm.
And we're taught, just like everybody who gets a carry permit is taught, that the only fight you win is the one that you don't get in.
De-escalation, escape, and avoid are already taught.
Already taught.
Already recommended.
So the idea that for some reason they need to, put this into law, all it really is doing is it's making what their usual tactic. Gun owners are the bad guys, and we want to protect criminals, and it's all a cultural thing.
Well, and they're parroting laws that are already on the books. It's already required for you to use just the level of force reasonably necessary.
That's
but
another
they're trying
section of
to
the bill, right?
add this in when the person used more force than was reasonably necessary to defend against danger. Homicide is no longer justifiable. It's like, well, it's already not justifiable in that case. So we don't need another bill on the books that says the same thing.
There you go. Sheriff Bianco spoke out on this. He did a short video, and I thought he did a great job talking about it, both in letter and spirit. So let's play that clip real quick.
Hello, California. Riverside County Sheriff Chad Bianco. For more than a decade, the leadership in Sacramento has literally tied the hands of law enforcement and made it almost impossible for us to protect you. Now, they are coming after you and your ability to protect yourself. Under a new bill, AB 1333, by California Assembly Member from Santa Monica, Rick Chavez Spur, you will no longer be allowed to protect yourself when confronted by violent criminals. Under this bill, if a criminal attacks you or your family and you defend yourself, and that criminal dies as a result of his criminal behavior, you could be arrested and charged with murder. Now let me make this very, very clear. You have a constitutional and a God-given right to protect yourself. You actually have that right under California law. But our California Democrat leadership and Assemblymember Spur say no, you don't. It is time we stand up to this insanity in Sacramento. I am asking all of you to contact your local elected officials in Sacramento and tell them that this bill needs to be removed from the assembly floor. Contact Assemblymember Spur's office and demand this bill be removed. Californians deserve far better than what we are getting from our Democrat leadership and our assembly members and senators in Sacramento. We demand better. We deserve better.
There you go. Awesome. So there you go. It's not just some guy on a podcast, saying, gee, golly gosh, the sky is falling. That's a professional law enforcement sheriff. He's got a career behind him, and he agrees. So AB 1333, watch this thing progress. It is so extreme. I just can't imagine that it's going to pass. But if nobody does anything, then bad things happen. So we got to make the phone calls, make the emails, do all the stuff that needs to happen. There you go, AB 13. Hey, everybody. Thanks for watching. I'm Michael from Gun Owners Radio. If you liked what you saw, please don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and make a comment. Help us out. Go to gunownersradio.com. Thanks for watching.